Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. I'm finally on. I'm sorry I had a client here that sometimes they just don't want to leave. So I had to keep moving the time up. So my apologies. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Rules can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Know on this channel I like to dive deep within the readings. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual books, the shadows, see how they play as karmic themes, help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. All right, we're going to jump right on in today. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. I've been on nonstop go, and I have a history of kidney stones from not drinking enough. So I have to remember that. See, again, we all form habits and behaviorisms that can block us from, manifesting certain things. And obviously, good health is important. But I would condition myself to not drink because as a kid, I wasn't allowed to go into the house to drink. I had a mom that was like so, like, everything had to be like clean, so clean that you couldn't use anything. And so, which is like an OCD behavior. So, I mean, for those of you that know, trauma will create OCD behavior because there's a sense of feeling so crazy on the inside that you need to make the outside look perfect, right? And so people that have control issues they tend to have OCD, right? And so it's just a manifestation of anxiety. So, not a blame game here, but understanding why things are. It's just like I said, we can form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with the environment that it'll help us survive at one point, but it'll block us later on. And then when we're in a relationship with someone, even if it's not even a long relationship, we can, get traumatized and form behaviorisms that block us later on. So that's why it's important to look at things from a spiritual perspective. And because then you're not going to get triggered, take things personally. You can actually just see how you contribute to the imbalances, what you need to do to shape shift the energy. I mean, if there's many different realities that play out at one time, why would you want to be stuck in a reality with a karmic mate that makes you feel bad? If there's many different realities, one of those realities has to be maybe not that you get to be with this person happily ever after, but you definitely don't need to be victimized by them, right? That you can actually make them feel sheepish because soulmate, the energy goes both ways. It's not a thing where there's not feelings. There is feelings. We want to know why it looks the way that it looks. It's not a question that you don't know. It's like you want to know why the person's nice sometimes and not nice other times, or why they do what they do if they care so much, right? And why are we attracting that person? All right, so first we're going to look at your wounds and not just your wounds, but what you need to look at, like what is the energy just in your life, like that's influencing your life right now. So it would be the wounds, but it would also be things that you need to do or things that you need to look out for, things that are going to happen for you. It's just all about unless you're have such nothing's going on in your life and you're connected to an obsessive person. Then that person's energy can bleed into your energy. But if you have other things going on in your life, it's not. Those came out like a big, like 4 cards, and I'm going to take them because I never believed that there were any accidents. All right, so let's see what they are. Now, those of you that know me know that I like to read them separate, then I read them together. Okay, so here it is sensitivity overload, third eye chakra blockage, gossip and slander, body image wounds, and then nature, stress, water, your willingness to learn new things helps you deal with eliminate the agony of resisting, nature, stretch, like I said, and then what is this? Anything forced will not have a good consequence, and it's okay to say no. And your words have power more than you know. All right, so I'm looking at your energy. I see a lot that has to do with like how you would feel about yourself. And I feel like you're connected to somebody that it's not that you don't have feelings for them. You do have feelings for them, but at this point, like it would be difficult. And it would be difficult because you'd feel like you're forcing this person to do what you want them to do, even though you're not. This person just is resistant. It's not that they don't have feelings for you, they don't want to be told what to do, is what Spirit's saying. So, and the reason why is because, hey, listen, when you're creating your own life, right? Like do like in the passion for your life, creating your life, then what winds up happening is that you're in the place of least resistance. You're just loving what you're doing. So you're going with the flow of life. Being connected to a person that is going to be so difficult for them to be on the same page as you know, your needs being a lot of times not going to be met, obviously takes you out of that energy. Now, that also, when we're looking at your inner child wounds, which we see body image wounds, so this shows up as a disconnection and dissatisfaction with your physical self. So, not feeling comfortable in your own physical body. So, believe it or not, when you don't accept yourself fully, this is why we attract a person that like like they're giving off the vibe that they have a problem with you when they don't really have a problem with you. They just want don't want to be told what to do. So like it doesn't need to be that difficult is what Spirit's saying. And so I feel like it blocks your third eye. And so how do we manifest through the thoughts that we think and the emotions that we have? So if you're trying to manifest anything in your life, like it said, you're not going to be able to access that. And you can't access a third eye if you're in a place of fear, is what Spirit's saying. What happens is that you become so overstimulated because you're connected to a person that you have like you're in a cognitive dissonance with them. It's almost like you have feelings for them, but you also don't have feelings for them. And that's because they overstimulate you. So Spirit's just saying it affects your second chakra, which is the water element. And then what happens is that you don't realize, but you become more negative because you're around somebody that is kind of making you not like they're not making it easy. So like I said, your words have meaning beyond what you think they do. Your words are spells. So Spirit says it's okay to say no. You know, like that you're not going to choose to be with this person, you know, or have anybody in your life. But I'm feeling for whatever reason we're talking about someone in your life that it hasn't been in your life but wants to come back into your life. And I say this because, like I said, there's a lot of emotional connection. There's a lot of of an emotional connection. And so how do you deal with when you have like so much feeling and emotion for somebody, but they're not good for you? They trigger you. They can put you in a bad, in a bad energy because they make things more difficult than they need to be. Well, the Spirit says you become least resistant. Remember, when there's unconditional love, there is no ownership, there is no expectation. So the relationship teaches you both to surrender. And that's the thing. It's like Spirit saying, it's not that this person doesn't have feelings, it's that they have feelings for you. They just don't want to be controlled, they don't want to be told what to do. And so for you, like if you're feeling like you need to force it, well, then it's not so much that you have to force it, but you kind of have to come to a place of least resistance. And that means by trying new things, meeting new people, you take your mind off this person. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be like, set boundaries. I feel like the energy might have at one point been where you overgave to this person. And now there's a little bit of an expectant that you're just going to be there and put up with it. And really, I feel like, no, I feel like you've got to the place where you have to speak your truth. You have to say, like, set boundaries. You have to. It's not, if the person really has feelings for you, believe me, they're going to mold to the way that, for it to work with you. You don't have to control it. The thing is, of trying to control it, it shows that you're fearful of it, and that puts this person thinks then that you have expectation of them, even though you may say, I have absolutely no expectation of them. It's the fact that they know that you should have expectation of them. So you lose either way. If you show like you don't care, well, then you don't win, because then this person's like, I know that you do care. So you're probably trying to trick me because they have trust issues. And if you, again, try and control, then you're telling me what to do. So Spirit's saying it's about you not doing anything. And that's hard for you. And it's hard for you because emotionally you're very connected. And that's why Spirit says, try different things. They're like, yes, you have to speak, but it's okay to say no to this person. You have to train them. It shows almost like you were in a relationship with this person, or you tried to be in a relationship with this person, and like it was a tug of war for no apparent reason. And that'll happen when there's an intense connection with somebody, like, oh, I feel like this is my person, or I feel like I've known you before. I feel like I know you before, but then the person has spiritual blockages, not because of you. You have blockages too, but when you come into this person's life, they trigger your blockages, where they had blockages and they project a lot. So it's almost like, what do you do in this relationship? And Spirit says, you least resist and you try different things. You put your mind towards different things. Because if you're trying to create something for your life, whether that's, I need to be like on at my job, I want a promotion, I want to make more money, whatever it is, I want these things for myself. But then I get connected to this person that emotionally throws me off, makes me feel like I'm trying to control. And then Spirit says, this is about you realizing it's not one or the other. It's that you both have to find your balance. And balance comes from the fact of getting back into the energy of unconditional love. There is that there. What there isn't is there is a bunch of baggage, and there's stuff that shouldn't be there also. And so that you have to get to a place of trust, because that's what's not there. And trust is something that happens over time. And this person hasn't given it to you because there's a sense of, you like, they make it difficult. And Spirit says it's about you releasing it, joining other things, becoming more flexible in your body and your mind. Spirit says we go with the flow of life. When we're in the passion for a life, that you become a lot more sexy to that person too, because now, hey, you have other options. You can sustain yourself on an emotional level. You don't need them, because it's not about love. It's the fear that they're not going to do. Spirit says it's where you're coming from. They're not going to do, they're not going to do. And Spirit says, when that's the energy you're holding on to. So yeah, they're not going to do it, even though that they're a soulmate, but you can change the energy. Like, you're trying to like change them. You don't change them, you change you by what you're doing. And it's like kind of like demoting this person a little bit. When they come back, they don't get that seat, that they get a step down, and they have to work their way up, to be back into your life. Don't dim your light for anybody. Shine on your crazy diamond was one of them. And that's like, anybody that takes you out of like your higher self, your best version of yourself, doesn't need to be in your life. But understand, if someone is passionate about you, but they're so afraid, maybe they're not confident, and you inspire them, you're their muse. Spirit says, you again shine on, shine brighter, because you're only going to get good results from that yourself, because the universe rewards authenticity. It doesn't look how perfect, it looks at how much heart you put into it, how true, how authentic you are. And that's so it's good for you, but it also teaches this person again on how to be like, so you're inspiring to this person, you're showing this person a different way when they were a past life karmic mate, which is what I feel that they are. And it's someone that you're just connected to, but you don't like this person. Like, it's like, because it's like, it's they make it difficult. It's like, I love the person, but they make it difficult. And so spirit says yes, so you have to change yourself. That makes that person change. And that's by a lot of times going bigger. Being your beautiful, authentic self is the greatest contribution to not just to the world, but again to yourself. Because you become the energy of love. It's like you are being true to yourself. That's how things happen. That's what spirit says. It's again, and so through your job, through your passion, through the things that are going to fulfill you is how you become yourself. Understand that your third eye opens. The third eye chakra blockage, because you're trying to control, or you let this person emotionally throw you out of balance because they're immature, and now it keeps you in a lower energy, when God says all you need to do is again put your energy back onto yourself. This isn't about the person not having feelings. It's a question that they act childish. It's again where they don't want to do it. And so spirit's saying, so you go bigger, you know, is what spirit says. That's what it is. And so you set boundaries to the person where you say, no, like, I'm not always available for you. I mean, that's the thing. It's about spirit saying maybe you don't want to be with this person. They have the opportunity to step it up to be a twin flame. They're going to stay a past life karmic mate forever. That means that you've been down this road a lot of times. It's not like you haven't. It's like it's just a different lifetimes. And that's what makes it hard, because there's this connection, but then there's also like this immaturity. And what do you do with that? Because it's like the person's like doesn't let the relationship work. They make it difficult. But spirit says it's again, and it blocks your third eye, and no one should be able to do that. That happens when you give too much. And that might mean I'm not giving them anything, but the spirit says, well, what's taking its place? You're only in physical form to learn and to manifest. So if emotionally you're still connected because you're thinking about it, it doesn't matter whether you're not talking to the person or not. Energetically, they could feel it. They met you in a previous lifetime and they found you in this lifetime. I mean, and how was that? Is through what it feels like. So you have to cut that energy. It's like, otherwise, you can't deal with that person. You're not going to be able to deal with it. It's like, but you have to say, well, what makes me not do that or still be connected? And it's two things: nothing to take its place, which is why you need to go out into the world and feed your passions and your hobbies and your interests. That's number one. And find yourself, because that's going to open up your third eye. And then, like I said, you don't have to worry about how things unfold, because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. That the universe always conspires to bring you what you need at the right time. It's the illusion on when we believe that it's late or it's not, because we're judging our process. And so the spirit's saying it's like this person allows you to throw you off your track, because it's how that they make you feel, and then you begin to judge yourself. And then it's what you say. Now your words, you don't realize they're spells, that you don't realize what you're saying is putting you in that energy. So it's not one or the other. It's to release control, spirit saying. It's like, because on some level, it's like, well, I love the person, but I'm also like, I don't trust them. And that's the thing. So spirit saying it's more about learning how to trust yourself. It's like, because hey, to trust them, they can't do anything if you're trusting yourself. And you learn how to trust yourself when you're, again, like in this energy. Shine on your crazy diamond. That's like, be your true self, be authentic, be you. It's like, keep, like, go out into the world, still discover who you are. How do you think Marc Jacobs designs a shirt? You think that he just went to like one runway show? No, he went to thousands. He went to ate at the most fanciest restaurants, traveled to all these different places, and he got ideas from everything. And it was a combination of all those things that that he's able to create. It's what you feed. It's how much you feed. It's like, if that person has that much control, that's what the problem is. You're out of alignment with God. Because God says, me first, I'm a jealous God. That's through you first. Otherwise, you're codependent and you're not going to like what you create for yourself. You're going to pull someone to you that's going to harm you more than help you. Especially when you're like, well, I'm just looking for the emotional support. So you're not going to get it. That's exactly what you're not going to get. Because there's a sense of, I need it from somebody. And God says, you do that for yourself. And that's when your third eye opens, you can see it. You're like, it's because you're grounded. You're being led by your gut, your intuition, your inner knowing. You're giving and receiving of love, which is your passion, because you're in the passion for life. So yes, you can see the opportunities. You could see being inside. It's like, oh, I knew that Clarabelle was going to, try and hook me up with a brother. She keeps like hinting. It's like, are you psychic, or is it just, I just know? It's like, because I can see it. It's like the writing's on the wall. It's, again, you're co-creating. And then God says, well, you were looking to date, remember? And I don't really like Clarabelle. And then, understand. Then God says, well, then be more specific in what it is that you want. That it's about being aware of what you're manifesting through the words that you use, and through like your mind. And this person is going to put you in a negative mindset. You have to surrender and release control, and know that that love can't be broken. That's the thing. This person's so afraid that you're going to control, and because they have feelings for you. And so that holds a lot of power. So now, if you release it and you're like, oh, I don't give a shit. And you show that within your life, well, then that triggers their fear of abandonment. And then it gets this person to like, start to actually think about you, because it's not about the love. Spirit said that right from the beginning. It's about the wounds. And it's about like, oh, like everything that I do, like, it's like a pain in the ass. This person makes it like 1,000 times more difficult than it needs to be. Yeah, and Spirit says, look beyond the illusion. The illusion is again, whatever this person's creating, what you feel. It's again, and so it's the illusion of, oh, like, well, maybe they don't care about me. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's going to stay like this. And Spirit says, do you. It's like, do you. Again, because then you can discern the truth from like fear, like, and that fear as well. It's happened before. And Spirit says, it's not about, that, and it hasn't happened before, but it's when you do the same thing, you get the same result. So you have to do something different. And part of you doesn't really even know if this is your be and end all. When you go out into the world and you really feed your passions, you're going to meet people. And don't you kid yourself. The universe knows that person's ego is too big, and is going to bring you people and situations, experiences that humble this person. Because if they didn't treat you right, where you're like, well, I'm connected, but they treat me like shit. And it's like, well, again, that's your fault, Spirit's saying. And I don't like it, because I'm inside of you as a gift of the Holy Spirit. I gave you free will, but fuck you. It's like, we're going to eat this, or we can go out and have a good time here and find ourselves. And, this person's going to come back around, because it's not about the love. It's about the respect, where you're like not respecting yourself, which is why God says, yeah, I'm not going to we're not going to tolerate it. Like this person wants to create the illusion and then you're buying it. Like, yeah, sometimes you have to be in unshakable faith. Like, and but again, know that faith is a bridge that connects you to what you sow, to what you reap. When you're strong within yourself, either this person is going to be this person or they'll be replaced with someone better. Trust me. And because Spirit says, hey, if they don't step it up, that's the whole point. It's like those many realities I played at one time. This person wants to stay stupid. Well, then let them stay stupid, but then they lose you. So, it's like you have to be in an unshakable faith and know that you're being taken care of. As long as you're taking care of yourself. This person wants you to stay cubby holed into like, when we have this connection, but I'm gonna make it so difficult. Fuck you. It's like then you monopolize my life. You monopolize my life, and then I'm showing you that I care more about you than I care about myself, is what spirits say. And it's like you have to rise above it. See things from a different perception, see things more from the spiritual perception, and then that's going to help you ascend life. Let go of who you think you are, which is I can't really have the relationship and I really can't have, and people put me in a place of not really being able to see opportunity. I don't see a future. And God says, that's because of you. It's like, and it depends on who you surround yourself with and who you're putting energy towards. And you can be like, I really have a connection towards that person. Spirit says, yes, but their cockiness and their issue of not like, kind of being a little bit on the fence about it, and not really showing you what you need to show, but like they need to give more. And you're not going to get that by saying, give me more to a person like this. Because what they're going to do is say, oh, does that bother you? Oh, okay, let me do it more. And you're going to want to rip that person's head off because you're going to be like, I know exactly what the fuck you do. And so Spirit says you give that person too much power. And that puts you in a bad mood. It puts you in, then it's the words that you say and the things that you do because that person makes you feel that way. When really you're giving them that power because there's a sense of, well, it's like, well, what the fuck are they doing? And Spirit says you need to take your focus off them and put it on you. It's that fear. And we have to say, well, what created that? So we always have to look back at the inner child wound, say, where did that come from? Like that, that you'd attract a person like that, we're mirrors of whom and what comes into our life. So where was the trauma? And it might not have been with your parents. It might have happened. We have to always say the inner child wounds, because a lot of the times it did come from childhood. And then we're reliving that karmic theme throughout our life many times. If we don't change, we're stuck in that perception of limitation where Spirit says, where that's not, that doesn't need to be the reality. Look at this protection. When we don't feel safe, when we don't feel supported, and source. So to me, when we have a really good connection to source and we're little, and it's because we're not safe, and it's so when a person lives in survival mode when they're a little person, it's like because children can't stay in that energy, they detach, they disassociate. This is why ADHD and and trauma, I was going to say psychic trauma, but it's really not just psychic trauma, it's all trauma, will create like ADHD symptoms. So, because a child can't run away, they can't defend themselves, they have to deal with that parent that is not making them feel safe, where they feel like they need protection from that parent. So, what they do is that they kind of just check out. They go into that, because they're get stuck in freeze, and you don't realize that you really leave your body per se when you're in that energy for long periods of time. That's why children that have that type of severe trauma, they don't remember parts of their childhood. They're like, I don't really remember like what happened. It just wasn't like, it's kind of like chunks of time missing. And you might remember some aspects of it, but not 100%. And Spirit says yes, because when there's no emotional need. Like, and to me, physical touch for a child is all about the emotional, right? We feel safe when you get a hug, when you get that, that nurturing. It's again, and it relates to that clairsentient too. When children don't get that, and they become hypersensitive and they become hyper alert to like their environment, understand that's also hypervigilance. So when a child is in hypervigilance because they don't feel safe and they don't feel like they need some sort of protection, and they're emotionally not getting their needs met, and they're in that environment, they're not really going to be disciplined when it comes to like school, and they're not going to be really, because their focus is more going to be on like emotionally getting their needs met, because children don't know any better. They just want to feel better. They just want to, you know, go to who they're going to feel safe, and when there's nowhere to feel safe, mainly because the parent is belittling and shaming and like neglect, that's the only thing on the menu per se. Like, you know what I mean? There's no love, there's no nurturing, there's no. So, what's the message? The message to that child is that there's something wrong with them, that they're not good, that they're not lovable, that they're not. So it becomes ingrained. And then the hypervigilance on top of it is you're super tapped in to everybody else's needs and wants. And because it was a survival mechanism, you might have been neglected unless you gave of yourself. Then you were taught that love was conditional. So, then children don't know how to be vulnerable. They can't be vulnerable. They don't feel safe. And it's again that parent, that first, connection is super important, because it's going to determine the attachment styles for the rest of your life, whatever you get. So unless you do it for yourself, which Spirit's saying, like this person, like they're not. I feel like there's somebody that was very low vibration, someone that um, needs healing of their own, and then if they want to come back into your life, obviously you always inherit some of their karma. It's just the way that it works. So Spirit says you already got that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's mirrors the same energy. You can't trust this person. So betrayal, you're gonna manifest betrayal. Victimization. As a child, you couldn't defend yourself. You were a child, so you actually really were a victim. So you embodied that energy of victimization. So these are the traumas. Remember, it's the thoughts that you think, the emotions that you have, that again subconsciously, or you're holding on to due to experiences that you did live. So transcending it would definitely not mean to go back with this karmic mate if they're going to stay in a low vibration. And that Spirit says again that they are, somebody that would make you feel unworthy. They would make you feel that way. And it's mainly due to their own blockages, their own wounds. Now we can see, I don't even remember if we saw like what this person was going to do and how they were going to act. I just feel like it would be difficult. Yeah, well, we did say, but I do feel like it's not a question that this person doesn't have feelings for you. That's the thing. So they will believe that they have feelings, and they will try to convince you sometimes that they have feelings. But what it is that they're not mature enough to deal with it, and that's the thing. It could be that later on in time, that they'll come back, to you, but until then, it's like they're really, this is more about you, like living your life, because it's like anybody that makes you dim your light, and take you out of your God-given energy, like that this allows you to break generational curses. This allows you to, become a whole new version of yourself per se, like by not this person coming into your life, Yes, you can find the balance in it. It's not all or nothing, but which is what Spirit was saying. Like for the all of you that are dead set on saying, I really want to be with this person. It's just we never seem to be on the right track. Spirit says, well, if you release control, that'll happen. It's because it's not a question that this person doesn't have, feelings. Their heart is opening, and eventually it is going to guide them back to you. But who wants an on relationship, off relationship, on relationship? Because that's what it sounded like that this relationship pretty much was. And it's like, because they don't want to be controlled. And then you're like, but I'm not controlling. I'm asking for like the most simplest things, and I'm feeling like I'm not being respected. And Spirit says, well, then you have to respect yourself. And that's by doing what was talked about, which is going out into the world and finding yourself, and that make this person rise to the occasion. But you can't take this person back right now because they were immature, and they brought out the wounds that were mainly inside you that needed to be healed. It's pretty much like you feel unworthy. It's like no one should be able to make you feel that way, is what Spirit's saying. If someone's making you feel that way, what are you not doing? And we saw why, what you weren't doing. And well, I'm kind of expecting this person. I mean, that's my person. They're supposed to make me feel that way. And Spirit says, not if you don't have it for yourself. That's the whole thing. And you never had it for yourself. That's a wound, how you grew up. So it's always kind of been like a little bit there, a little bit raw. And so Spirit says you have to do it for yourself, because when you do it for yourself, you're not just healing yourself. You're going to train this person what's up. You're going to humble this person because you're going to meet people, and you're going to, it's not a question of being able to attract people that are attractive and fun and all that, but like you live life. And then this way, when you make a choice that it's really going to be this person, that you made them step it up because they see, well, you can have all that. And if you can have all that, why would you choose me? And number two, I like the way that you live. I want to live that way. So they begin to emulate it. Like I said, you're their muse. But but they have wounds. So it's not about love. It's not about inspire. It's not about any of that. It's about you stepping into the best version of your energy and not letting this person do that. And understand, if you're living, you're going to have opportunities to meet and date other people. And that might be part of training this person what's up. And then you can decide whether you want to be with this person, Spirit says, but not now, but not before all that. And not if they're going to put you in a negative energy that it takes you off your focus of why you're actually here. What the whole point of is, like, without this person, but no one should have been able to make you feel that way, is a moral to the story. So you had blockage. They came into your life because of that. And so on an emotional level, you have to do it for yourself. And then Spirit says, what else? There was another, here it is, other deck, which we always like to alchemize the energy, meaning we have to do something. You can't just get rid of negative energy. Like Spirit saying, it's either this person, or again, stay emotionally and energetically connected, but not get anything, not even talk to the person. The person's probably not even hanging out with you, not even around, but they're just having this energetic cord to the person, which is stupid. Or you can, again, alchemize the energy, whether the person likes it or not, and you force that person to like I said, it's not about love. It's about you releasing the chains that no longer serve you, and as a limiting beliefs. You grew up in an environment that made you feel a certain way. So that was a reality that you lived, but that's not really who you are, and that's not what what you deserve, or really what you believe. Spirit says, but you have to put something in its place. And so Spirit's saying, and part of that is to, yes, see how strong that you are, and acknowledge what you have already overcome, and go into life with conviction, first of all, meaning know who you are, have confidence. Let people know that you're confident. Yes, you had to learn how to navigate the difficulties with common acceptance. This is about learning how to go with the flow of life, being least resistance, which is not about changing the environment. Navigating difficulties with common acceptance is to be at peace with yourself. And that's the only way that that's going to be, is to emotionally fulfill yourself, which is, we already explained how to do that. And so Spirit says, like, this is about the understanding that life is about good and bad experiences to help your soul grow, for evolution, so that you can learn how to really love yourself. And you wouldn't really be able to create anything in your life unless you loved yourself. Fragmentation makes us be detached and wear shadows. And then what we're saying is that we really don't like ourselves. And we want other people to like us. And we focus on a lot on what other people think. And so this isn't about that. God says this is about you being authentic. This is about you learning how to love yourself, because then you're going to be able to attract the right people into your life. And that's what it is. And the only way that you're really going to love yourself is to go out into life and really find yourself. What you say is, well, I kind of like this person, and it's like, and that you want to be around people that make you feel that way too, is what Spirit says. And that happens when you then find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? That there's going to be people that come into your life that you just feel like you resonate more. And that is actually what helps you to reach your limit potential. That, think that there's like, well, I only have so much. And God says, don't do my job, do your job, which is be like childlike, love yourself, know that you're the energy of me, unconditional love. You have to become that passion. Can't be around people that are going to lower your energy. So go out into the world, meet people, because understand you're going to meet assholes every day. However, you'll also meet a lot of great people. And so your choice of focus is your greatest tool to be able to be at ease with yourself, also to train other people. I don't need your shit. I don't need you. It's like I have a lot of other people that support me. It's again that you earn respect. You make a person respect you by how much you give to them. If they're not giving you, you don't give them, and you move on and you have other things. Because when people stay and they want people to change, well, then you're not going to reach limitless potential. That's not going to happen, because the person's trying to humble you, they're trying to keep you in a low thing. So the only limits are the ones that you impose on yourself, that you're here to achieve great things and that you're protected, And the way to be vulnerable, to heal vulnerability, is just be authentic, embrace your true authenticity. So, because again, that's what the universe is going to respond to. It's going to say, how much love are you putting into it? How much passion? And is it real? And that's what it is. Not perfect, because no one's perfect. But you will meet your type of perfect, is what Spirit says. It's not about this person not having feelings for you. Yeah, it's feelings, they're immature. And it's like, but the thing is, you can't stay connected to somebody that's going to make you feel like that's going to trigger you all the time and think that you're going to have a successful life. But if you're one of those people that's like, but this is my person, I really love them and I really can't, then Spirit says, then you need to find your balance and see what you're doing wrong. And what you're doing wrong is you're not living enough life. And you could say, well, because they're going to cheat. Spirit said that they're going to go out and cheat, and regardless. And maybe that's their process, to go and be with a lot of other people to see whether you're that person. You're going to sit there and wait? Or you're going to go out and go out and have a love affair with yourself and meet a bunch of different people and see whether they're really your person, is what Spirit says. Remember, they're a karmic mate. Didn't say that they were a twin flame yet. We don't see them moving their ass to do what they need to do to be the twin flame, which really all is, I'm willing to do. I want to learn. I love you to the point that I'm willing to humble myself and do what I need to do. We don't see that. What we see is them saying, I'm going to come back. I have feelings, but a lot of still like mediocre energy. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, they're at 4 or best. 4. So spirit says that's at least 6 life, a lot of life, lot more than half, right? Like again, to be giving like to yourself and a lot less to this person because it's not about the love. They're going to be watching. You're their muse. You're inspiring them. That's not what it is. It's the case that they don't really have an identity. And like when a person, someone's muse, it's like they need it because it's like, I don't know how to be. But then they also have those blockages that they have to work on themselves. And spirit says, so a lot of times twin flame relationship, like it takes years to unfold. And they come in as a past life karmic mate, not really wanting to do it. And then they need to be humbled by like, the universe. And that's from maybe getting involved with the wrong person or, losing all their money, but from being in an ego energy for them to actually humble. But as far as right now, spirit says, they think they're coming back and they think that they're going to do all this. Well, understand this is not really like important. What's important is about you living your life right now because you're going to get a much better result from like that in the long run. And then you're more balanced. Say, do I really want to be with you? Because maybe I have better options. And that's the thing. Spirit says, I don't care whether you're with this person or not. What I do care is that you both evolve back to your original energy of unconditional love, because that's why you're there, to learn that there's no separation. This person allowed you to see where you were blocked, as far as for now, regardless of what they think that they're doing. Listen to life. Be attentive to the world around you. Signs and symbols guide you to success. Listen and discover the way to eternal. And that's the gift that you have too. It's like you can see the signs and the symbols, like psychically, like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, that it's easy for you to manifest. Like for your third eye to be blocked, it would only be because you would be connected to a person that is like that. And that's why Spirit's saying it's like the whole thing is that, you're on the road to finding your own success, and, that God has a plan for you, that you live here and now, knowing the beauty is to come, and that you don't force things to happen faster than the universe has decided. And you learn from your experiences, take small steps in faith, and you succeed. Like I said, with all your efforts, I feel like everything is coming into fruition for you. And that's why it's a critical time where Spirit's saying, like, don't let anyone dim your light. It's again, shine on your crazy diamond. This person, again, like because you have so many mixed emotions, it's going to be sensitivity overload, which is just too much thought, too much emotion, and just too much, where Spirit says it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. This is about you, like living you, right? That's what Spirit's saying right now. That's what it's about. Is of you developing that second chakra, the water element, which is the emotional one. And that really is what opens up your third eye, and also gets to you a better connection to the physical body. The physical body is a connection to the physical world. If you grew up in the environment that we said that you did, then it's not uncommon, because the child detaches from their physical body. They're up in their head. Like I said, they didn't feel safe. So that ADHD, that overstimulation, that oversensitivity, you're prone to. And then Spirit says, and also like it doesn't feel comfortable to be in your body. If you grew up with that type of abuse where the parent was shaming you, making you feel bad, well, understand that's why. But unless you get back into your body, your third eye doesn't really open that well. So it's really important. It's just and it's about knowing that, like, again, when things feel like they need to be forced, that it's not good. And if you're trying to like force this person or you feel that way, then it's like you don't need to, is what spirit's saying. It's that you can have what you want, but you might not even want that once you get it, is what spirit's saying. So, and you won't really know until you go out into the world and you've experienced a few other things. And then you're also teaching that person, hey, respect me. Otherwise, you'll be replaced. I have other people that are interested in me. I know what I'm worth. That's what you're saying. Otherwise, there was like you just gave this person too much power when you're like, well, they were my person and they, well, they came in like your person and they were past life karmic mate, but that's not a thing about love. It's about all their baggage. And you can't force a person to like fix their baggage. However, if you do what you're supposed to do for you, ironically, they'll do what they need to do for themselves. And that's what heals their baggage. And that's what a past life karmic mate can do when they are dealing with a person that is like, you're my person, but you make things way too difficult. And to the point that it affects my energy. You have to again put the energy into yourself, regardless of fear of abandonment, like that this person's going to leave. Because guess what? They're going to leave. But if you're with them, they're only going to play it out like they're not going to leave and then eventually leave. So they'll leave, but then they'll come back, is what spirit's saying, because you can't replace that energy. They'll be confronted, either rise to the occasion or meet somebody or meet someone else. They can't meet somebody else because love is there. That's what the problem is. There's an energetic cord. It's again, and they don't know what to do. And so, and you're going to be miserable connected to them. So this is the only option for you, literally, is what spirit says. You don't have another option, and you'd have to do it either way. That's the moral to the story. But hey, in the long run, they come back. Every card had said it. Oh, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back. I'm going to pick a random card. I mean, please forgive me for not being there for you. Things got too intense for me, so I ran away, but now they're regretting it. Like again, you are the love of my life. I'm sorry that things didn't work out for me. I want to get back together, but I am afraid, I'm sad. Like this person just is like in a place where they don't really know how to act. And that's what you'll see. Like when you're connected to a person that has feelings for you, it's everything, but then is not emotionally intelligent. And they don't want to do anything. And this past life karmic mate, there's nothing that you can do with that because it's almost like I'm on the fence. And by them being that way, that means that you would have to put in all the effort and all the energy to make the relationship work. And that's why spirit says that would be extremely toxic. You would not be happy. So like, it's not that they don't, but the moment that you put your energy into yourself, like I said, I feel like that's when energy changes. But spirit says, don't just drop everything to be with this person. Because this person, like I said, doesn't even feel like that they're good enough for you, to be honest with you. They don't. But they also have this unconditional love for you. And that's the thing. It's like that's what has nothing to do with you. However, it will always make you feel like shit. Because again, they don't like themselves. So you have to again raise your energy, and that person will raise their energy by like kind of copying you. And then eventually they'll either find their way back into your life, or you'll replace them. In this story, it doesn't say they're going to come back, but spirit says don't take them back. When they come back, it's like they need to do the work, and you need to be more on their thing, like on your journey. Otherwise, it'll just revert back to the way that it's always been, because they wouldn't have learned anything. And that's the thing. So it's not about love. It's the fact that people get comfortable. And if they were used to being a certain way and getting away with it before, they're not going to just all of a sudden think that it's not going to change. They think, oh, well, I'll have to work hard to get back into your life, and I'm going to do it for a certain amount of time until I don't. And then what are you're going to have nothing. You'll be back in the same place, is what Spirit says. Not if you go out, you have that love affair with your life. You're going to meet a lot of people and a lot of situations, a lot of experience that emotionally fulfill you. So this person gets out of line, you could say peace out when they come back. If they don't, and they know that, and part of them, don't you kid yourself, holds to that standard because they know it. They know that people know what can get away with and what they can't get away with. And if emotionally you can't sustain yourself, which Spirit says, I'm bringing you someone that, is not very emotionally intelligent and is very strategic. And you may be someone that is very highly emotionally intelligent, and then really take offense to this, where this is how this person navigates. It's not that they don't have feelings, they're afraid of those feelings. Again, it's like you have too much power over them. So that's why I said you can't do anything with that, except for do you, and then like meet other people and have this person come back, and then you can determine whether you want to be with this person or not, but not before then. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Hey, to you, Dan. No, I'm going to call you Dan. Dan Oneth. Dan Oneth. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Thanks for sharing your energy with me. Thank you for joining me today. I will be on most likely again tomorrow. Not today. I have to do recordings, and I actually have to go and support my friend down and watch her class. I don't really want to. I'm not going to lie, but she made a comment. When am I going to see you again? Maybe tomorrow by my class, come down for a little support. When people say that, it's like, don't put me on the spot or anything. So we'll not be on later on tonight, but we'll be back on tomorrow. Thanks again for sharing your energy. Until next time, be true to you. Bye-bye.